So we are joined for our first career cluster guest of 2025, my friend Kimberly Gorham, CEO of Gordon Golden Enterprises there in Indianapolis, Indiana. We thank you so much for joining us. We've got a room full here with us at Velma Jackson High School. We're in our Agriculture, Food, and Natural Resources Career Cluster, and we're recording this for all of our friends in Madison County Schools, Rosa Scott, Madison Central, Germantown High School, Ridgeland High School, the Academic Options Center, and our YouTube channel. So thank you so much for joining us for the second time this school year.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be back, and I'm braving the cold for you guys. There is definitely a lot of snow here. So, if we have some technical difficulties, we're just going to blame it on the cold weather.
That's awesome. Now, because obviously you want to show us some stuff and we want to talk about all the things you do on your farm there. But you went to Grambling State University and you did not get a degree in agriculture, and then you served in the U.S. military. So take us about that background, because it's a cool little story.
Yes. So I graduated from Grambling State University in 1997, and I was already in the military. I actually joined the military because an aunt who was a nurse was being recruited. So when they're being recruited, no. So what I did was I said, I'll try. Hold on one second. We're getting some feedback.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, thanks. So they were recruiting my aunt, and she chose not to go into the military, but she said, hey, why don't you join the military? Had no idea that I was going to be wearing a uniform. I did pretty well. I scored okay on the ASVAB. I could have been a pharmacist, not too shabby, or an accountant. Well, you got to ask questions, because an accountant was not the kind of accountant that you think of. It was basically someone that was receiving shipments, boots, uniforms, beans, bullets. So accounting meant go ahead and receive this shipment in and issue it out to soldiers. So sometimes in the middle of the night, I'd have to get up and get a soldier whatever they needed. It's called supply, logistics. So anyway, fast forward, become an officer, and you can hold multiple different hats as an officer. I was, again, a logistician, a little bit different though. You can make, you choose that career path: quartermaster, ordnance, transportation. Those are three fields within within logistics. As an officer, you can choose one of those specialties or all three. I was an engineer officer. I was even an admin officer and an inspector general. So fast forward, 2017, I get out. I'd been gardening here at my house and loved it. My son even loved it. I bought this house. I planted blueberries bushes, and he was like 2 or 3. Mom, can we go outside and plant some? No, baby, it's dark outside. We need to go inside and get ready for bed. But I started my business February, Leap Day. You can tell that I'm African American, but I did it during Black History Month, the very last day of Black History Month. It was really important for me to do it during that month and to do it on Leap Day. So I was like, I'm going to take a leap of faith, and I'm really excited.
That's awesome. Now, you went into business for yourself not that long ago. Just a couple years ago, you started
not
Gorham
even a
Golden
year.
Enterprises, and you've already done some great things. You're actually going to be featured in New York City today on the Times Square Times Square NASDAQ board. So tell us how it grew so fast, because you specialized in produce. You raised the chickens and had eggs. You raised your own bees and sold honey. And it's really taken off just within the last year. And then today you're going to be with us in Mississippi in the morning and in New York City this afternoon. So talk about how the business has grown.
Sorry, the wind blew. The wind blew. We're good. Okay. I'm safe. So, since we last met, I lost my bees twice. So, they swarmed, they swarmed on me, which means they grew. They there weren't the right conditions in there. I needed to have an extra hive on there. So it grows naturally, you know. Um, and then I actually had robber bees. There's a such thing as robber bees. They came in and they stole some. So I haven't got a chance to sell the honey, but that is one of my milestones. It's important for your students to understand business terms like milestones and things like that. So I've set milestones for myself, and one of the milestones is professional development. If you remember from my previous discussion with your other class, professional development is key. So whatever you are doing, always get a mentor, always get one, two, three, if you need be, mentors. So that way you can be fed. Some people travel, can't mentor you, but professional development, that's what I sought out. NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center has a 12-week accelerator course. So from September to December 5th, I worked on some milestones, and one of them was to actually organize all of my finances and get everything ready, because this is a seasonal business. Seeds and compost and fertilizer. So these things, people aren't going to want to buy them in the middle of the winter all the time. So we got seed in the ground. People might not be necessarily thinking about, fruit trees. So I opened up another business, something I'm very good at, Gorham's gift baskets and more. So I actually started an e-commerce site. Didn't even know I was going to do that. Wow. Launched like right before Black Friday. So you just have to have accountability partners. My accountability partner, right before I came on here, she was going to be the one that was going to do the test run with me to make sure that everything was all set up. But have a good accountability partner. So have a mentor, but have somebody that can hold you accountable. This is what you need to do, Kimberly. Let's do a time audit. Let's not think like managers, or let's think like CEOs. Let's not think like operators. Let's think like CEOs. So those are things that you need to think about: professional development, getting a mentor, getting an accountability partner. That is key. And I had 2 accountability partners. One is in Georgia. One is in New Orleans.
That's awesome. Now, at the heart of all this is your love for agriculture. And this is a field that is not only not going away, but is getting more and more technologically advanced, really by the day. Because we have grandparents that may have farmed, or may have parents that have farmed, but now with advances in technology, drone pilots are now needed in ag more than ever, and that's something our kids can get certified in high school. You have a lot of soil scientists.
Yes.
You have a lot of
yes.
You have things in the lab looking at food quality, and obviously you have the animal side as well. We have a friend in Texas, and his company develops automatic cow milkers. So it really is a more automated technology.
Automatic cow what?
Milkers.
Really?
Milking.
Okay. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. My chickens, you may see them. You remember from the last time, they may come over. They were running at that time, so flapping their wings, so I couldn't hear what you said. And
that's
for
fine.
me, this is a two-way street. I want to be able to hear what you're saying and your students are asking, and I want them to be able to understand me clearly as well.
Oh, awesome. But it's never been a better time to get into ag. We have great universities here in Mississippi. Alcorn State, our land grant HBCU, and Mississippi State both have incredible agriculture programs where you can get a degree in agriculture and work in these technology side of it. But the trades are also very needed in agriculture as well. So as somebody that deals with agriculture on an everyday basis, what are some of the skills you're seeing in ag that are so needed by kids that maybe want to get into this field?
We talked about this before, like the drone pilots, because you could be certified as a drone pilot. Those are things that when that drone flies over the fields, it can detect certain things like crop resistance to pests, crop disease, anything. It can see if things, it can water things, all kinds of things. That's so a drone AV pilot. You could be actually one of my mentors. I sought him out for finances. I'm going to be applying for a $5,000 grant, and he was in ag and finance, and he has his own business, and it's like genetic testing for chickens. So again, the importance of having a mentor is because they can teach you as well about those things. It's diversification is good. So genetics. So again, we were talking about the resistance. You may want to get into genetics of plants, seeds, seed testing for viability, all of those types of things. Chemist, all of that is needed because we have a state chemist who I need to get with because I want to sell my fertilizer. So I want to get my soil analyzed so I can know what it is that I'm giving so I can have the most nutritious plants and produce possible because you are what you eat.
Yeah, and that's the thing about ag. People are always going to, the big joke is if we didn't have agriculture, we'd be hungry, we'd be naked, and we'd be in the cold because it really is the basis for all of the human needs of having clothes, having food, and having shelter. So it really is a field that is not going
Can I
away.
open up my box while we talk?
That's what I wanted to ask you next. I wanted to see what you had to show us today.
Okay. So I got in some Converse. These are custom made Converse. And I wanted to open them up for your class. These have my company name on them. Here. It says you. It took me a while to see that. I got 2 different pairs. It's an unboxing, literally. Oh, they're so cool. Converse by me. Okay, let's see. These are the Christmas pair. They didn't come in time for Christmas. I got them custom made. And Nelly's song needs to be playing. I hope the kids like them. They say Gorham on there. And there's the other side. Gorham. You see that?
That's awesome.
So when I'm walking around, I can be advertising my business. That's pair 1. I don't know. How do they do it? How do the kids do it? They stack them up looking like that. And then this pair. This one is right on time. The actual shoebox to save, I'm really sustainable. The shoebox is actually the carrier, so the shipping container. So that's great. They didn't have to use extra packaging. These actually were made in Vietnam. I didn't know that. I know what they're supposed to look like. So for my Gorham's gift baskets and more, I got these. And I got the little gold eyelets. Oh, my phone is ringing. Sorry, I forgot to put it on silent. Okay. So here they are. I wanted these so when I deliver my gift baskets, they say Gorham's Gold. It might be backwards on this screen. You like them?
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Now, I've got some really good questions I want to get to, but one thing that I want to ask, obviously you've pivoted in your business because any type of entrepreneurship, sometimes you have to pivot what you're doing, and that's okay. But as the season changes again here in a few months, what are some things that you are looking at maybe getting into that you haven't done before?
So again, milestones. I want to generate followers. I want 1,000 by year 2, which will be February the 28th, 2026. I want to generate an email campaign. All of those are behind the scenes things. So which I can hire a marketing consultant to do it or something like that. I am going to expand. I want to hire high school students. I want to hire high school students to help me in my garden. I am a veteran, disabled, and bending over hurts. Things younger people are a little bit more flexible, and I want to show them a life skill, because you don't have to go into ag, but you should know how to feed yourself. You should know how to, take care of yourself and take care of your family, have a backup plan. And the last thing is I want to adopt a couple of schools. Your school, I want to send you guys some seeds so that way you can get that. I don't know if you call it the quadrant or the square. I want you to be able to grow some things there. So hopefully your students will get.
Courtney back. We're back after some technical difficulty. But yeah, you were mentioning how you wanted to get us some seeds. If we can ever get some weather where the ground isn't frozen outside and it's just miserable to be out there, we'll definitely get some measurements and we'll be able to do that, because that is something we are planning on doing here in the very near future at Velma Jackson. But I do have some questions from the students, and I'll get to as many of these as I can. And some of these are really good, so I like these. This first one is Anaya Goins. She's in ninth grade, and she asked, "Have you ever had a bad experience with the bees?"
No. I mean, I drove a little over an hour or two to join a bee club um, down in Bedford, Indiana, and they were opening up the hives for me. I wanted to see him smoke them. And you're not supposed to eat bananas around a beehive,
I
and
did not know that.
nor wear dark clothes. And I had eaten a banana. Huh? Oh yeah. I looked like somebody running all around the field because I didn't want to really get stung. But that was before I actually became a beekeeper. But yeah, I was wearing dark clothes, and I wish somebody had to film me because I'd be a rich woman. Thanks. Great
I
question,
like
Anaya.
I like this one. This is Trayvon Tucker. He's one of our football players here. He's in 10th grade, and he asked, "Did
Hey
you enjoy your
Trayvon.
HB?" He said, "Did you enjoy your HBCU experience?"
Definitely. I didn't mention it, but my parents are HBCU graduates too. They both attended Grambling as well. Not going to force my son to go, but yes, you could see it on my face. I'll tip my hat to that. Yeehaw.
uh, this is Zakaria Chambers. She's in ninth grade, and she asked, "What made you focus on agriculture after being in a different field?"
Well, honestly, I come from a long line of people that have green thumbs, and my great grandparents, um, they have quite a bit of property in Louisiana, in Minden, Louisiana, and I would love to farm that, to put some things on there. I really am big into agritourism, so like it's in my blood. It's in my blood.
Yeah, and that's funny you mentioned that. It is crazy what people will pay for agritourism. That is a very untapped market. And some of the things that, like in other countries, like I saw in the UK, they literally have a garden that you can pay to walk through, that every plant in it is poisonous. It's called the Poison Garden. And I was like, why in the world would you want to do
No,
that? But they literally
no
have
way.
like world renowned horticulturists there, and they make money off of this. And I was like, that is insane.
Maybe you guys could do it too.
I'll let somebody else do that. This is Levon Johnson. He's in 10th grade, and he asked, "What type of engineering careers have you seen in agriculture?"
Soil science. I don't know if that's like exactly an engineer, but man, a construction engineer, electrical engineer, all of those people, you need those people to build you a barn. Mechanical engineering, you're talking about lots of farm equipment that has to. John Deere, I know you've heard of them. So all of those are directly related to agriculture. That's a great
Absolutely. And
question.
with all the technological advances, there's things that haven't even been developed yet that's going to need engineers not only to design them, but to implement them and train people how to use them.
Mhm.
And I got time for two more. This is Sydney Evans. He's in ninth grade, and he asked, "If I wanted to be an entrepreneur, what would be the best first step to take?"
So download a business model canvas. It's on it's on YouTube. There's some videos. It's got about 7 blocks on there. So that is very key when you're starting business. Your key resources, who's your target market, what those are things like resource. All of that is on there. I do hope that you do that during your career cluster. You ask Google what engineering fields are do you need, and then the business model canvas. What are the 7 blocks that are on a business model canvas?
Uh, I agree, and they actually have an assignment they're working on right now where they're looking at not only the degree programs but how all the different concentrations within the degrees. So that is part of that. I got time for one more. This is Takias Boyd. He's in 9th grade, one of our football players, and he asked if I wanted to become a drone pilot, would I have to focus on farming, or are there other areas that they could be used in?
Oh, absolutely, other areas. I'm going to tell you that I sat in. I wasn't on the panel, but I asked really intriguing questions. So tell me how you got into that field, or what the gentleman said. When I got into this field in college, we didn't even know if we could be legal when we graduated. So when he graduated college, he didn't know if he was going to be able to legally fly a drone until Congress passed the law that they were safe. So I asked him another question. I was like, really? When was that? And then he said, the year. And I said, what? I said, what else did you do? He said, we work with the military, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Ding, ding, ding. Military, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. I said, what? What year was that? I had already gotten out. So ask those pertinent questions. Your teacher's having you do a really good job. And I want to say, I know we got cut off for the technical difficulties, but charity is built into my business model. I give back to veterans. So every time I have a farmer's market, then I will have a small little section set aside for veterans. You just show me your identification, and then you get no questions asked bag of fruit. So I wanted that to be put into our interview as well. So thank you so much for the interview. My toes are cold, y'all. They're freezing.
Well, we're almost out of time, and we thank you so much for joining us. But 2 quick things before we go. First of all, GorhamsGoldenEnterprises.com has all your social media pages on there, all your products. So tell us where to find it.
So gorhamsgold.myshopify.com. That's my e-commerce store. So I'm going to be putting my eggs and honey and stuff on there. And Gorham's Golden Enterprises, that was the original one, but then you have an e-commerce, so people can go to my website. I've got a little YouTube channel I'm trying to do TikTok, whatever you call it, IG, Instagram. Please go to Gorham's Green Thumbs and Nursery on Facebook. Please today be in my watch party, as I'm going to be up on that Jumbotron in Times Square takeover.
That's true. And that's so incredible. Great achievement there. You're only the second person I've known in person to be featured on the Times Square board. But the last thing before we go, and I know your toes are cold there in the snow, but even if these kids don't want to be entrepreneurs, but they're interested in the ag field, why are they so needed to get into this career area?
I'm pretty sure they had breakfast this morning. They're gonna have lunch and dinner. So you have to know where your food came from. I'm very serious on that. You need to know where your food came from. I think y'all live in a pretty rural area, so there's not like a lot of fast food places that are. Y'all eat homegrown food. Y'all eat good food. Some beans and some cornbread, ham hocks, turkey necks, turkey legs. Where does that come from? Go to a turkey farm. Come on up here to Indiana. I'll let you tour it. Now, everybody's not going to let you come to their farm because of biosecurity, because we don't want you to bring in germs to our farm and stuff like that. But hey, if you told me that you're from Greg's class, you can come.
Love it. Well, again, we thank you so much for joining us and braving the cold. My friend, Kimberly Gorham, CEO of Gorham's Gold Thumb and Nursery, Gorham Golden Enterprises, all the way from Indianapolis, Indiana. We'll definitely talk to you soon, and I cannot wait to see you in Times Square today.
Thank you. Bye, everybody. Thanks for those great questions.
I talk to you soon, buddy.